My friends, I am behind on a lot of things, so instead of doing a normal YouTube video, I'm going to do it on stream because people are going to ask this all day anyway. So I'm going to build what spec I'm going to go and say what I think is the best for what I'm doing, which is open world farming. I am only open world leveling because I don't know if there's a point in dungeon cleaving at level 1 to whatever, because I'm doing the fresh 1 to 70 as fast as I humanly possible can. As fast as I humanly possible, whatever, you know what I'm saying. If you're doing any kind of dungeon cleaving at all, Demo is going to be superior, obviously. Demo also is very fine in the open world. The only issue that I have with it is it doesn't really pop off. You lose a lot of damage out of the affliction tree going demonology until you get a Fel Guard. Once you get a Fel Guard, it kind of picks up a little bit more. Destro's fine. Destro actually does very well in the open world. It just has a lot of mana issues, so you're going to find yourself drinking more than you would normally. So affliction is the way to go. To start, my first point, I always put 1 point in suppression is because at the low levels, I fucking cannot stand when something misses. Not only, and I don't mind pressing the button again for whatever reason to make that dot or whatever go up there. The problem is mana, and when you're trying to move fast as shit, you got to sit there and worry about your mana all the time, and I don't want to do that at all. So I put 1 point in here, and then I go to 5 in here. Corruption was reworked, and it no longer, it was reworked, and it is instant cast baseline now. So now the improved corruption now increases your damage from corruption by 10%. Don't worry about the second half because you're not going to be seeding while you're leveling. This just gives you flat ass big dick corruption damage. Next, I put 1 point in Agony. Oh, actually, I don't put Agony yet. I come back for it because Agony right now is a very low level. 1, the dot doesn't even get to its full duration yet. 2, it's only fucking 10% damage, so it's not really a big deal. A lot of the times, early level emo and corruption just they do so much damage at the early levels. Next, I put 1 point in the improved life tap, and then I go to 2 soul siphon, and then I go back to life tap. That's because at this level right here, when I get this first one, my mana is at rank 2 life tap, and it's actually ass. I'm getting like no mana, and it's super fucking irritating. So I put 1 into here, and then I put 2 into here, and then I go back to 1 here. We're gonna come back for this at some point, but we don't need this. You're not gonna need the mana back right now, and you don't give a shit about the threat on affliction. Next, you have an option to get this. I don't really get this. It was reworked, so it no longer does what it did in Amplifies the Curse. It actually just reduces the global cooldown of your curses by half a second. I don't take this, but if you do take it, then always start your opener as Agony, Corruption, or Agony, whatever else. Just make sure you Agony first so you get good value out of that global cooldown. So I put 3 into Felconk because you are... the deep dive got canceled because of some scheduling shit. I'll talk to you guys after I'm done with this. 1 second. Felconk I'd use because I'm drain tanking. You're drain tanking just like Classic. Just like in Classic, you would drain tank with Succubus or whatever you decided to use. And then you moved into TBC, and the TBC drain tanking was like way better than Classic. Now it's like next level, way better than Classic and TBC. So I'm drain tanking the whole time. Now I have some points to go here. Down here, I like to go up here more now. Now I don't mind getting this. Because down here, we're getting at the lower bit levels right here. We're level 20, 24, where Agonies are actually getting off all the way. So I kind of like it. After that, I go into Nightfall first, and then Reach, and then Empowered Corruption. Empowered Corruption is really good, but at the level you get it, which is right now, which is if I was to get it at go back level 24, I have almost no. This increases your damage of your corruption by an amount equal to your spell power. You don't have a lot of spell power at this level, so it doesn't fucking matter to me. It does matter because I end up getting it, but I get it 4 levels later where I have a little bit more leeway for some spell power. And if you find yourself with no spell power still, you can actually come back and get this later. Put 1 to unlock it, and when you get further down, you can come back and get it. I just nut it up and get it right away. Next up is Shadow Embrace. You do not need this at all. This is a rating talent. This is only for your Shadow Ball to haunt. I don't even use haunt when I'm leveling, and then Shadow Ball is like whatever, so don't worry about that. Get Siphon Life, which is reworked. Now, when you deal pretty much TLDR, Siphon Life is no longer a dot, and it heals you for 40% of the damage that you do on your corruption, which is fucking bananas. Now you go up and get the fucking 2 points into here. This will help you get mana back. There's an add-on I'll show you later where you can just press a button. It'll auto-sort your... it's called Soul Sort, I think, Soul Shard Sort or something, and it makes it so you can make a button, and when you press that button, you set it in the add-on how many. So for me, I use three shards. I don't want any more than 3 shards in my bag. So whenever I press this macro, that auto deletes all but 3 shards out of my bag. I put it with my curse or whatever, so I never have to worry about it. After that, I go down to Shadow Mastery. You don't need to tell you why. Eradication is really good. You have a 6% chance on every corruption check to get spell casting speed by 6%. The problem is you're not casting many spells, right? You're not casting any spells at all. You're not casting hard casting spells. Like you might Shadow Bolt on 1 target, or the only reason I'm taking this or would even get value out of it, I feel like, is when you get a proc, drain, because you are drain tanking almost all the time, full time, right? So this actually can help with the drain because you get a fast ass, you get fast drain tanks. So that's why I do it, but you can definitely make an argument for not getting this if you want to flex it out. That's just a personal preference. This talent is whatever either way. Contagion is what I do next, all 5 points. This increases the damage of all your, the typical same thing it did in the past ones, no big deal. I don't worry about Dark Pact because I come back for it. 3 into Malediction, which is reworked, and it no longer does the whole Curse of Elements thing. It increases your spell damage by 3% and increases the dot crit chance of your corruption and your UA by 9%. Yes, it crits, and it crits because of, obviously you're gonna take UA. It crits because of Pandemic. This grants the periodic damage from your corruption and unstable affliction spells the ability to crit. That is a big deal. You're just running and critting. That's all it is. Death Embrace is almost like Eradication, where I kind of don't care about it, but it kind of can be nice because like this is more for... One, it increases the amount you drain from Drain Life, which is why I like it, because you are, once again, drain tanking. But at the same time, it increases the shadow damage done by 12%. At anything lower than 35%, which is not a big deal, but do know that everything in the open world, no matter how fast it dies, will at one point be under 35%, which is why I like it, on top of the amount drained from Drain Life, because once again, you're drain tanking. This is where I'm gonna depart from pretty much everyone else. I don't give a fuck about Unstable or Everlasting Affliction. You don't need the second half of it where it keeps your corruption rolling. But the corruption, an additional 5% of your bonus spell damage is worth it if you want to get it. Go ahead and get it. I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm not going to worry about Haunt either. I've done a lot of leveling where I've used Haunt. And Haunt, I get it. It's nice. It gives you a heal, but you don't need that heal. You do not need the heal from Haunt, no matter how much you're pulling. Okay. And even if you're pulling a lot, what are you going to do? Cast the Haunt? Like, fuck off with that, you know? Next, we go over the Demo Tree, right? This is mandatory. Whether you put 1 or 2 points in that, it's completely up to you. It's the same. What was it? T5 2-piece is what it is. Was it 2-piece or 4-piece? I think it was 2-piece. Gives you 50% chance to heal your pet. 2 of them gives you 100%. You only need 50% because you have a million dots and you're pumping it and you're draining into the guy, so you don't worry about your pet dying. 3 points into Demonic Embrace. This is going to give you 10% stamina. Kind of goes without doubt. Kind of goes without saying. Your last point to drop down a one, you can either go Felstone or you go Hellstone. I go Hellstone because once again, you don't need the 2 on there. After this, I go down to 3 and then I go down to my Voidwalker. I personally use Voidwalker almost the entire time I'm leveling. This is a personal preference. The difference from the other option is, Succubus. I don't really drain tank with Succubus. I feel like she loses some of her flavor in Lich King, versus like a Fell Hunter, because Fell Hunter actually is pretty broken. You get an excellent Dark Pact if you're running Dark Pact, which I do end up running Dark Pact, which I actually forgot to put the point in there because I get it way later. You get really good value out of it. You just literally get really good value out of Voidwalker. I just really like it. Voidwalker's sacrifice was changed, so now it doesn't kill him. Instead, it takes a little bit of his health and gives it to you, and he has bananas health. Later on, we'll talk about a Glyph of Voidwalker as well. It works very well with it. So I use this one, and then after that, I just put my last 3 points in here, and that'll get you some... Actually, I go like this, to be fair. I go 3, and then I go here. This exact order of the talents will be right here, too. This link will be in the description of the video as well, so you can just go in that exact order, and you don't have to. This is just, you know, what I did. I don't care about Feldum. I don't care about Soul Link. 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's it for 70. And then down for your Glyphs. For Glyphs, I think mandatory is Glyph of Corruption because it's out. This gives you... This is Nightfall and a Glyph. Mixed with your other Nightfall means everything getting corruption, which is everything in the world. Your job is to Agony, Corruption, Immolate, or whatever you want to do to kill things. And then... what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, you have 8% chance on all your corruption ticks to get a Nightfall proc. It's fucking bananas. It procs all the time, especially when you're mass pulling. The second... You get it at level 15. The second Glyph unlocks level 20, I believe. And for this one, I use Imp Voidwalker because you get Voidwalker at 10. I use him like I use Imp until like 12, 13 because Imp's fucking super strong early. And then I use Imp or Glyph of Voidwalker, which increases his stamina by 20%. This makes him be able to pull more, makes him be able to hold more, makes his AoE taunt better, makes you be able to sacrifice him more. And if you do not want to use that and say you're using the Imp, which is completely okay to use the Imp, because another way to do this is to actually flex these 2 points. You can flex these 2 points around and put them into Imp. And Imp does a lot of damage too, so it's like you're not even wrong if you want to do that. I just personally don't like the Imp. Dude's annoying as fuck. But if you are running Imp, you can take, instead of using Felguard, Fell Hunter, you can use, or goddammit, instead of using Voidwalker, you can use Glyph of Imp. Let's see. Don't worry about your miners. You can use Drain Soul if you want, but you're already draining a lot as it is, and you're going to be using this to get your mana back, so you're going to be over shard, so it's not that important to me. You don't need to worry about any of these. Underwater breathing is very big when you get it. I think you get it at level 15, yeah. That is more important to me. This increases your swim speed by 20% when you're in the water. Think of all the times that you're in the water. Now think about going 20% faster. Yeah, that's all it is. And that's it. Yeah, I just talked a mile a minute. But yeah, I didn't have time to sit there and script it and make it all slow. So yeah. I'm streaming this shit 1 to 70 fresh, going as fast as I can. Don't know how fast I'm going to go, but I'm going to go fast as shit. Might be a 24-hour stream. We'll see. Peace.